Hey gang, I am Jay, your GM, player, and guide. Welcome to Homemade Heroes. Today is our episode 3 for the adventure, and previously on the show we saw Nanna wandering around the marketplace of the town Hast, looking for some healing salves or poultices, something like that, that would provide healing after she had a narrow brush with death crossing the sward. Unable to find anything affordable, she continues to wander the market and notices Finistarial in the market also. She also sees a small glint of light appear over Finistarial's shoulder that quickly disappears, but leaves her curious as to its nature. A little later on, Finistarial is bullied by some of the other youth that will be attending the shrouding, this rite of initiation for the villagers of Hast. Nanna goes to step in, but everybody is startled by Finistarial producing a bright light, indicating that he has magical powers and scaring off the bullies. Finistarial then admits to Nanna that he has started showing signs of magical ability. Towards the end of the conversation, Finistarial offers to buy some healing salves for their trip into the ruin. In our second scene, we see Serwyn, Nanna, and Finistarial at the outskirts of the city, close to the edge of the ruins. Serwyn is beseeching Nanna to take care of Finistarial. And strangely, Nanna notices a small occurrence, a small leaf near her head, flitting through the air as if blown by the wind, that suddenly disappears. And finally, in our third scene, we see Nanna and Finistarial venturing into the ruins, along with all the other youth from Hast and their protectors. Nanna shows Finistarial how to light a torch, as this is a novel experience to the elven youth. Passing by and through the ruins, Nanna is suddenly taken unawares by falling masonry as one of the dilapidated buildings collapses on top of her, causing the torch to go out. Finistarial has to quickly try to get the torch back on and manages to do so in one round. He also hears voices coming from the area that the rubble had fallen down from and is able to identify one of the voices as Eustace, one of the bullies from the marketplace earlier in the day. As Finistarial helps Nanna get up and clear the rubble off her body, they notice a sound, and a giant bat moves to the edge of a nearby building, peering down at them. And that is where we're going to pick things up today. First things first, I just want to remind you that Finistarial and Nanna both have a luck token, which is something that in SoloDark we give to characters when they are created or when we start to use them. And of course, I wanted to use Lego, so here are the two tokens. The gold one is the luck token for Nanna, while the blue one with arcane symbols on it is the luck token for Finistarial. A reminder that luck tokens enable me to trade in the luck token to the GM, which is me too, and to re-roll a roll that I'm not happy with. It is possible to re-earn luck tokens, but we'll get into that when it happens in the future. So the first thing that we're going to do as Nanna and Finistarial are looking up at this giant bat in the broken roof of a building nearby is we're going to roll to see what the monster's reaction is. And we're going to roll on a table from Shadowdark for this, rolling 2d6. So that is a 7 on the dice, and we would add the charisma modifier from one of our characters, and I will use Finistarial's because that is better than Nanna's, and both characters would have been seen at the same time, so I don't think it matters too much in terms of the storyline. Nanna's charisma is -1, Finistarial's is 0, so not too much help there. So the result is a 7, and that means that the monster's reaction is suspicious. So let's go ahead and see what happens. A giant bat with mottled green and brown skin perches on the edge of a building in the near distance. Finistarial stares, eyes wide open, and barely moves a muscle. Nanna glances sideways at Finistarial. Slow and steady, lad. How about we back away? We'll go around. As much as I'm up for a fight, it's really not the best time, having just suffered this injury from that falling rock. Slow and steady. Let's back it up. Back it up. And with that, Nanna and Finistarial try to slowly back through the rubble. Because the bat is suspicious, as Finistarial and Nanna back away, I'm going to roll dexterity checks for them to make sure they're not going to kick through the rubble and make any more of a racket. And depending on how that roll goes, to see if the bat chooses to attack or just ignores them. 2d20s, the purple is Finistarial and the black is Nanna. That's a 17 for Nanna and a 6 for Finistarial. Despite Nanna recently suffering a grievous wound to her leg and then having the wall of the ruin fall in on top of her, she manages to move reasonably quietly back through the rubble. Finistarial, however, wearing robes around his legs, seems to stumble and have difficulty knocking pieces of rock skittering across the surface as he backs up, looking back and forth between Nanna and the bat resting up on the building. Let's roll that d6 and see what the bat's response is. A 4. Despite the noise that Finistarial is making, the bat seems to lose interest, and keeping a side eye on them, continues to watch, but look around the rest of the ruin. Once Nanna and Finistarial are far from the bat, they stop to regroup and figure out what to do next. You'd better be careful with your feet there, Finistarial. It's not playtime here if we disturb creatures like that. Honestly, I'm surprised that it didn't attack. Well, I'm very sorry for wearing robes on this outing. Aye, you should be. I wasn't sorry at all. I was being sarcastic. This is what I wear. I am becoming a spellcaster. And a spellcaster has to look the part, no? Nanna just cocks an eyebrow. I'm at a bit of a loss. Do we keep wandering these ruins and see what we find? But is that all there is to this? I'm really... This whole thing seems like a ridiculous tradition. I don't even understand why I'm out here. Look, Finistarial, I'm going to reiterate this for you. First priority, stay alive. Second priority, bring back some evidence that you've done well, that you've thrived. Whether that be a relic, some treasure of some sort, or perhaps a keepsake from a monster that we kill. But the first priority, we stay alive. And if that means we need to run, then we run. Is that clear? Yes, very clear. I will bear in mind what you have said, Nanna, and do what I can. With that, Nanna opens up her pack and pulling out a small jar of a salve of some sort, she applies that to her lower body and feels that characteristic tingling and coolness sweeping through her bruised and battered legs. Well, that's taken the edge off. Right, let's head on then. For the healing salve, I'm going to roll a 1d4 and then add the result to Nanna's hit points. She is currently on 2 HP. She's currently on 1 HP out of 7, and Finistarial is on 2 out of 2. That is a 4. Good roll. That brings Nanna's total to 5. As Nanna and Finistarial, circumnavigating the area where they know the giant bat to be, continue on into the ruins, I'm going to roll a random encounter check. As a reminder, that is rolling a 1d6, and if we get a result of 1, we have a random encounter. If we get more than that, then the characters are unmolested for the time being. 6, the characters continue on through the ruins. As I'm not too sure where their journey through the ruins is going to take them, I'm going to roll on the prompts tables so I can get a sense of what they encounter as they continue to move through the broken buildings. 24 is the first roll. 24 is the word block as the verb. And then we'll roll again. 58. 58 is open as the noun. So block open or open block if we want to switch the words around, which we did in the last session. I think I know what that means. As Nanna and Finistarial come around the corner, they see an area in front of them, a road or lane between buildings that has obviously been cleared of stone. There are piles of rubble and masonry to the sides, and it looks as though the area that has been cleared leads to an almost complete building. No door is hanging in the door frame, but it's the first building that they've come across, which seems mostly intact. And so walking carefully, they move closer. I'm going to roll stealth checks here because I think that they are going to be moving as quietly as they can, being unsure about whether whoever cleared this area is still around or why they cleared this area. So again, black die is for Nanna and the purple die is Finistarial. Double 4s. Okay. Given that we got double 4s, let's roll another random encounter die to see if anything hears them stumbling towards this doorway. A 2. So once again, they go unhindered and are able to make it to the doorway. As they reach the doorway, Nanna says, Finistarial, wait. I'll stick my head in and see what I can see. She holds the torch forward into the doorway and then pulls it back quickly. She doesn't hear anything. This time she puts the torch in through the doorway and moves her head to look around. Looking over her shoulder at Finistarial, she says, I found something. Come on, let's take a look. I don't think anybody's around. And the two of them move cautiously through the doorway and into the interior of what is obviously a large building that stretches out before them. Off to the right-hand side of this open hallway, they see a stairwell that has obviously been cleared of rubble in the recent past. And again, the rubble is kind of pushed up against the wall out of the way. There are signs of it being dragged through the dust and footprints around. Nanna looks down at the footprints. I'm pretty sure they're humanoid, that's for sure. But wait a second, what's that? And she points to a pair of footprints that are scuffed but seem strangely elongated. Those don't look like any of the shoe prints or boot prints that would have come from any of the townspeople of Hast. Do we go down the stairwell? Finistarial responds, well, I'm okay to avoid danger if you think it's wise, Nanna. We, as you said, first priority is to survive. And clearly, following a monster down a set of stairs into who knows what is not a strong survival trait. So what do you think? Shall we continue on? I mean, continue on not down the stairs? So I'm going to ask the Oracle what they're going to do. And in terms of odds, I think that I'm going to roll here with disadvantage. The question that I'm positing is, will Nanna and Finistarial move down the stairs? Let's roll. So that is a 12 and a 13. So we have rolled with disadvantage, and the answer is still a yes. So I guess the fates have it. The two of them are going to head down the stairs. Nanna looks across at Finistarial and says, well, I know I might be going against my own advice here, Finistarial, but if we're just going to wander around the ruins and nothing's going to happen for the rest of the night, well, it's not really going to be much of an experience for you, is it? But this is the first sign that we've had of anything interesting, so I think we should go down and look about. She reaches up and claps Finistarial on the shoulder. We'll be okay. You just wait and see. Now, follow me, yes? And proceeding with the torch held out in front of her, she starts to move down the stairs. Following quite close behind her, Finistarial is very worried. He thinks to himself that this is exactly the sort of situation that he didn't want to get into out here in the ruins. He knows his father wants him to experience things that will bring him out of his shell, but this is just not the life for him. He's been called to something greater, and his slowly developing magical powers have confirmed that in his mind. He shakes his head as he follows Nanna down the stairs. This had better be worth it. We're going to end scene number 6 there and pick things up once they reach the next level down. As they reach the bottom of the stairs without mishap, let's roll another d6 and see if there is a random encounter. That is a 3, so nothing happens immediately. Let's roll on the Oracle table and see if our party hears anything as they've reached the bottom of the stairs. An 18. Let's roll on our prompts table and see what the nature of that sound is. That's a 5. A 5 on the prompts table is deliver. Let's roll our second one and see what we get. 57. And a 2. And a 2 is life. So our prompt is deliver life. I've got a really clear idea about what that means. Having reached the bottom of the stairs, Nanna says, lad, can you make that light go on like you did in the town marketplace? Can you do it? Of course I can do it. Just a matter of concentration, and we'll have some light. Why do you want an extra light? Well, you never... And as she starts to explain to Finistarial, they hear a scream come down the hallway. It echoes through the corridor, and Finistarial looks over at Nanna. I'll get that light immediately. I'll cast it on the end of my staff here. And holds up his staff. Squinting his eyes in concentration, Nanna sees him mouth some words. Let's see if he's successful. What I'm doing here is rolling a spellcasting check, and so I'm going to use a d20, and then I'm going to add Finistarial's spellcasting modifier. That is a 14 plus 2, so 16 total, which means that the spell is successful. All of a sudden, the end of Finistarial's staff starts to beam with light, and a large circle of light spreads around him. Nanna could swear that Finistarial looks slightly surprised as his eyes widen, and then he looks over. Yes, as I promised, light. Now, what are we going to do about that scream? Quick note, the light spell lasts for 1 hour, or in our case for 10 rounds, and illuminates out to a near distance. So in Shadowdark, near distance is about 30 feet. So it would cast light 30 in a 30-foot radius out from the end of Finistarial's staff in this case. Nanna, feeling comforted by the extra light coming from the end of Finistarial's staff, responds, well, you're going to stay right behind me, and we're going to head up this corridor and see if we can't help whoever's at the other end of that scream. Do you have any other useful spells that might assist in fighting whatever it is that caused that scream? No, Nanna, you're here to deal with the monsters. I will assist how I can, but dealing with monsters is not my specialty. Okay then. Well, you do what you can, and remember, if I get cut down, you'll be soon after. So we stick together, you do what you can to help. And with that, Nanna moves off down the corridor at a light jog, Finistarial shuffling along behind her. They quickly come to the end of the corridor and have to take a hard left. As they look down the next stretch of corridor in front of them, they see a torch lying on the ground and some humanoid figures fighting against multi-legged assailants. And this is what they see as they move down the corridor towards this melee. Nanna and Finistarial both recognize Eustace and his two companions. Nanna immediately stops. Finistarial stumbles in behind. Nanna, what are you doing? Nanna quickly glances over her shoulder and says, well, these are the fellows that were bullying you. Do you want to go ahead and save them then? Finistarial pauses. Well, I don't want to die for them, but if we can do something to help them, then I think we probably should. It's what Father would want us to do. Alright, well you just keep that bloody light on, and we'll see what we can do. Nanna and Finistarial can see that one of the group is lying on the ground, a spider crouched over the top of them. The other two are still on their feet and continue to battle the other spiders, however, doesn't seem with much luck. Let's establish initiative order. The spiders have a dexterity modifier of +1. Nanna has the same, +1. Finistarial has a -1. And for ease of use, I'm going to say that the other youth from Hast have a dexterity modifier of 0. So let's do a quick roll to see if the spiders or Nanna go first in initiative order. And the way I'm going to do that is roll a d6. 1 to 3 favors the spiders, 4 to 6 favors Nanna. That is a 1. Spiders go first. So we're going to start in this corner. The spider on top of the figure in the corner, which is moving around, swatting at it, trying to get it off, attacks. To save time here, I'm not going to show the rolls for the battle, but I will be rolling them off on the side here. So the first spider attacks the figure in the corner, and spiders get 2 bite attacks. So that is a 13 and a 10, both of those +1, so that's a 14 and an 11. Both of those hit, so that's 2 damage, plus the figure has to make a DC 9 saving throw or get poisoned for 1d4 of damage. So they were already low on hit points. They are now down to 0 already. Let's roll those DC checks. Okay, 1 success and 1 failure, so that figure is essentially dead. I'm not going to roll saving throws for these NPCs. The spider in front of the spear carrier That is a 4 and a 7, and their AC is 10, so it's a 5 and an 8 total. Those are both going to miss. The one here is going to follow behind its kin and attack the spear welder. So 2 more attack rolls here. A 6 plus 1 is a 7, a 14 plus 1 is a 15. That is going to hit. Okay, so damage is 1, plus we roll the DC saving throw. A 19. Okay, so a success there. So no poison damage, but they are going to suffer the 1 bite damage. That brings them down to 3 hit points. They reach down onto their leg where they've been bitten and wince with pain. Okay, this one here, the red one, is going to attack the smaller figure. And those are a 9 and a 4. Okay, so the 9 is going to hit because plus 1, that meets their AC of 10. And that's 1. Let's see if they save 6. They do not save their the poison, so we get 1d4 poison damage. Okay, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so they are 2 damage. They're down to 1. At this point, that brings us to Nanna's turn. Nanna is going to charge in and hit the one that is closest to her. So that is the one. So that is the one right here. And let's roll to hit. That is a 10 with Nanna's strength modifier of 2 is 12. So that's going to hit. And we'll roll the damage, but it really doesn't matter because they only have 1 hit point. Okay, 4 plus 1, 5. With a screech and the chittering of legs, that spider is dead. Nanna looks into the surprised and grateful eyes of the small figure in front of her. Come on then, follow me. Let's help your friends out. And she turns and moves closer to the spiders that are behind her. So let's roll an attack for the spear welder. Okay, nice. That's an 11. That's what we were aiming for. So the spear welder thrusts forward their spear with both hands. And again, we don't need to do this, but they roll a 4 for damage. The spider right in front of them also like chittering away, like screeches like briefly and rolls over, its legs curling up as it dies. That brings us to the figure behind Nanna. That is going to move around behind Nanna. And let's see if she hits. Natural 20. Boom! Okay, so we don't need to roll damage on that. The spider also, the blade comes down and slices the spider clean in 2. The 2 pieces falling to either side. There's only 1 more. We can do it together. That brings us to Finistarial's turn. Finistarial slowly, tentatively moves closer. I don't know what to do, Nanna. I can't get close enough to hit it, and, well, I don't have any spells that would be effective. I'm just going to keep providing light. Here, can you see okay? Nanna, with a quick glance over her shoulder, says, you stay there. We'll take care of the last one. That brings us to the last surviving spider's turn, and it is going to leap from the legs and body of the figure lying on the floor to the back of the spear welder. And let's get a couple of rolls to attack for the bite attacks. An 11 and a natural 20. Okay, so the 11 is going to hit, the natural 20 is going to hit. I'm going to roll 2 dice here, but basically the figure goes down and drops to the ground with this spider crawling across their back. Okay, that's a turn for the worst. Alright, that brings us back to Nanna. Nanna darts over and uses her warhammer to try to sweep the spider off the back of the spear welder and kill it in the process. Let's roll. That is a natural 20. Oh my gosh, 2 natural 20s in a row. Okay, so again, Nanna is successful. She sweeps her hammer across in a wide arcing blow. It hits the spider and, squashing it, throws it up against the wall so that it splats and leaves a smear as it slides down the wall. Nanna's like panting. Is that it? Did we get them all? And she looks around. The small figure moves over to her friend. I think that's all of them. We were caught by surprise, but there were only 4 that came out of the egg sac. Nanna lowers her hammer to her side and keeps looking around, but seems to relax slightly. Well, I don't know if there's anything we can do for our friends here. Finistarial, would those salves or poultices do anything? I fear these 2 are close to death. Finistarial moves closer and checking on the 2 figures on the ground. I'm sorry, Nanna and Tulip, but Eustace and the other are gone. You, Finistarial, why didn't you use your magic? I saw you use it in the town square today. I know you could have done more. Why did you not try to save Eustace? I'm very new at this spellcasting thing. You just chose not to save them because of how we've treated you. You make me sick. And with that, she turns away, reaching down to roll Eustace over and look on his face one last time. Well, younglings, we had better either get out of here or move along. This fracas is probably drawing attention. I suggest we continue on into the ruins, but Julep, was it? If you want to head up and head back to the outskirts of the ruin and safety, no harm done. But that's obviously your choice to make. What'll it be? Tulip, scrubbing tears away from her eyes, looks over at Nanna. Thank you. I will stay with you. I'm not confident of my safety here by myself. Together we will be stronger, yes? I will be stronger. So why don't you take up the rear, and Finistarial, you go in the middle there with your torch. And with that, they set off around the next corner, moving further into the bowels of the ruined building above them. Alright folks, that is the end of that scene and the end of this episode. What an exciting way to finish the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next episode really soon. Farewell for now.